Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching Nile Cruise coming to you from the Sea Scout Club here on the banks of the River Nile. And, you know, the journey of Feriel Ashraf, the gold medalist in karate for Egypt at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics or 2021 Tokyo Olympics, really made a big impact here in Egypt. And the fact that she came from a popular area in the country and a club with limited capabilities made the achievement that much bigger. And the support of her family was the key, as she said. That's what Feriel said, that her mom was the number one reason for her success, and that her family at large was the number one reason for her success. A video of the heroine's family was spread widely here in Egypt while they chanted and cheered for Feriel, and her mother chanted words that reflected the size of her daughter's pride. Of course, Feriel made every Egyptian proud, and she was really courageous. She was outstanding. We have the pleasure to host a distinguished guest here with us, Ms. Rania Lelah, the personal development expert, to talk to us about the role of the family in building Olympic and sports champions at large. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Rania, for being with us. And it's always important to know the necessary factors that the family should provide to build Olympic champions, since we have seen how champions always talk about the support they receive from their families.
Yes, of course. Building champion is not an easy thing. It's just like long-term process. It's a sequence. It's not just like an overnight work. It requires efforts and efforts and efforts. And building champions, let's just talk about the first step. It just starts from a happy child. And now, how we can make a happy child? It all starts at home, from their parents. That's why their parents, or the parents in general, have great responsibility over their shoulders, have essential part in creating this happy child. And it all starts from inside, internal factors. We need to encourage parents to support their children. It's all about support. Financially support, emotionally support, mentally, spiritually, just support, to be always there for them. Most of the cases I've faced in my career, that people, successful people, but they all have this internal pain, and it's all regarding their childhood memories. They were abused, whatever, but it all starts with the childhood memories. That's why we need to focus on this thing, how to create a happy child, productive child, very confident child. I just urge parents to support their children. Support is number one, and respect. Respect their interests, respect their opinions, their thoughts, everything in them. They should be respected. Number three, acceptance. I will accept my child, accept whatever he do, accept what about characteristics, his personality. I will accept him. And always support him and make him not fear of failures, because he will always make some mistakes. How I just accept that and turn this like a life lesson. How to convince him that you will face a lot of struggles in this life, and you need to be tough. You need to be confident. You need to be like has this tough mindset to face all your fears, to face all the failures into your life that comes into your path, and how to turn those failures to life lessons, to feedback, because always failure is about feedback. There's nothing called failure, it's always feedback. There is nothing called failure, it's always a life lesson you can just make benefit from and reach your goal about it.
Well, I guess for anybody to be a sports champion, he or she and his or her family have to make a lot of sacrifices. I mean, especially in those individual sports like karate, like the one Feriel gained the gold in. Talk to us about, the importance of how do we face, do the parents, first of all, realize that the sacrifice is worth it, because sometimes training sessions and so come at the expense of the academic. That was not the case for Filial, but
Yes, yes.
sometimes they do at the academic achievements. Sometimes they come, many times, they come at the expense of their social life, their social activities. So, you know, do you have an advice for the families and for the youngsters themselves on how to bear while facing those tough times and making those sacrifices, the patience needed there?
Yes, of course, they have to be patient, but they know also, or they have to know that there is ultimate goal they need to reach, and they will accept, or they have to accept that there is always sacrifices they will have to make to gain their goals and to gain their achievements. And now this is the question they should ask themselves: am I now ready for these sacrifices, for these kinds of sacrifices? Yes or no? And when my answer will be no. What should I do to accept those sacrifices? What about my ultimate goal? What about my future, the future of my kids, the future of my family, the whole family? So I just call it like self-coaching. Ask yourself some powerful questions to gain or to know, to maximize your potential, to know all the answers. All the answers just inside you. You just need to point out or just zoom out it. Because life is tough, as we all know, and there are many struggles out there, and you will find many challenges and difficulties. We all agree on this, but it's up on you, or it's up to you to make the decision whether you want to reach this ultimate goal, you want to make your child a successful one, you want to make the bright future for all your children. It's up to you. So persistence, determination, and patience, and money sacrifice, just investing lots of amount of time and money into this thing, it will be successful project. If you just consider it like a project, I will sacrifice my everything to just gain or just make it a successful one. Your children is just as like that. I don't mind me if I call them projects, but yes, they're our responsibilities, and we are responsibility for their future until they just maybe growing up and holding this tough mindset to know exactly what they are heading to.
I guess it's also important, Mrs. Rania, to realize the importance of encouraging families, regardless the importance of sports. Many families, perhaps they don't realize the importance of sports, not necessarily to bring up sports champions, but just playing sports is very important for their kids. How can we do that?
First of all, sports is a learning experience. It's much more than just the physical benefits for the body. It's more like developing, and number one, it builds character from inside. The sports builds characters, really. Number two, it's developing lots of other skills, strategic thinking, the leadership skills, the how to set a goal, and all these beneficial skills that we call life skills that can benefit them in all their life. And also there are many other benefits. And if you want to build this awareness to families, to the whole community, we need to just tell them more about the benefits of building these champions. And eventually, if we don't have a large number of champions, we will have some winners out there. And as you all know, that winners are not born, they are made, and we can make these winners. The benefits of sports is just like building characters and knowing other skills. It's just to teach them how to be, or how to not give up, how to not surrender. Sports teach people how to set a goal, plan. The power of planning. They will plan a thing from the beginning to its end in a very efficient way.
Yes.
And this power of execution, there will be
time management
they will have
as well.
it. Yes. Sports teach them as well the fair play, how to just playing in a very fair way, the ethics, a lot of things. Sports just teach the people in general. And if you want to have like a happy child and build him from internally and support him, as I just mentioned before, you need to tell him what the benefits of sports as well. It's not just about the physical things, the physical aspects, it's just also about internal. As you know, these components of fitness, It's like the flexibility, the speed, the skill. It will teach you
But
many
something
other
normally
things.
happens here, Mrs. Rania, is that normally the parents they want their children to play certain sports, like swimming, whatever. Like, but the children tend to choose their own sports, and most of the time they don't sustain the same sport,
Yes.
and they shift from one sport to another, which is very hectic for the family. Should the family accept that and accept the fact that their children can move from one sport to another, or push them towards playing just one sport?
I just want to go back to a step, yeah, just a step. you know, family. Yes, I can convince my children to play sports, but I can't force them on just one sport.
Mm.
I'll give them all the freedom. Try this one and know what it's all about, and move to another one, and move to the third one, fourth one, tenth one. It's okay. Choose whatever you want. Everything you have tried, it gives you some lessons. You will now be fully aware about this and that and all these games, and eventually you will choose your closed one, your like your destiny. You will eventually you will choose your favorite one, the one you just building this rapport with, the one you just feel comfortable with, the one you just see your future or see your medal in the horizon. So it's okay to try many other sports, but it has to be the child's choice, not just some parents force their children to pick up a certain sport. This will be very hectic for them, as you just say.
Well, definitely playing more than one sport is a rich experience and is a lot of fun. And part of the importance of playing sport is for the kids, for the children, to have a healthy pastime, to spend their time in a useful way for their body, for their mind,
Yeah.
instead of doing harmful things. As the president said when he honored those medal winners at the Tokyo Olympics, when he received them, he said it's not just all about medals. It's about, raising awareness about a healthy lifestyle for all. So the wish is and the goal is, and those really developed nations, yes, you would have the US number one in the overall medals table, and China number two, and the G7 in the top 10, and it's very clear. But the thing that distinguishes them most is that they have a very wide base, a huge base. For instance, in Germany, you have 1 million football players, if you can believe it. 1 million players are registered in the German Football Association. Not necessarily the 1 million are good players, maybe only 1,000 are or 10,000 are, but the thing is about the healthy lifestyle, the overall way of life. So your comment on that, the president's words to the honored athletes.
Yes, he's absolutely right. A healthy mind in a healthy body, and a healthy body in a healthy mind. They are too connected with each other. So we can't neglect the rule of the sport in one's well-being, internally and externally as well. And if we just raise awareness about the importance of sports from the very early age, we will have many champions in the future. And yes, comparing to the champions, we will have tremendous number of winners. We will have a great generation of winners, and will be very successful because they are building from inside. Sports has many benefits other than, as I just mentioned, about the physical thing. It has like this ethics, how to play fair, how to be a leader, how to set a goal, and all these skills you will learn it, or you will practice it as a player in any sport, any kind of a sport, and at the same exact time you will implement all these skills in your life as well, as a human being, inside your community, with your family, in your relationship, personal, professional relationship. So we're just building a community from the beginning till the end. As just the president has said that, yes, we need to have many champions. We need to focus on the healthy lifestyle because it's just not about body, it's about mind as well.
Yes. Why do athletes always need the support of the family and the friends as well?
Because their first wall, I always call the family great wall. Their first community, their first supporters. So if your first support, you're just, when the kid just opens his eye, he just sees his parents. And unless these parents will be their support system, so he won't get to his goals. He won't be a very productive well-being. So it's all about family, whether family stands beside you or not, whether family help you, support you, respect you, appreciate you. You know, we are all as a human beings. We need to love and to be loved. We need to understand people and to be understood. We need to appreciate and be appreciated as well. And family is the first one. If I just call them family, it's first supporter, the first one who will appreciate you, respect you. That's why people who faced many challenges in their memories or childhood memories, you know, they still have this inner pain. They won't find support, even if now they are very successful and they have successful families. But the pain inside from their childhood memories still hurt them. They just wish they could find some support from their family, some respect, some appreciation, some understanding for their interests. That's why now, as a parent, we need to focus on this. Yes, our children at a very early age, yes, they understand everything. They need to be respected, they need to be appreciated, they need to be respected in the area of hobbies. I have a hobby, so please, as a parent, respect that, show some care about that, and support him to get whatever, or just to develop himself in a regular basis. Now you're building him from inside. Now you're just building like a human being, a strong human being, productive one. He will face alone, after some while alone, any struggle, any challenge, any difficulty he may face in his life.
You know, Ms. Rania, you mentioned the word pain and the word project more than once. So I just want to touch on these two words. First of all, the project. Well, you're not guaranteed success when you play sports. I mean, not everybody is going to be a champion, but you are guaranteed that you will have a healthy body and a healthy mind and a healthy spirit. And you are building your character. That's what you are guaranteed of.
Yes.
But I want to ask you about the pain. I wonder, and you as a training development expert, if pain is sometimes or many times a key to success. Because nobody's going to win, even those who become champions, they don't win all the time. They endure a lot of pain in the middle. They sometimes come third, 10th, second, and second is really hard. You know, silver,
Yes.
and there's a big difference between second and first.
Yeah.
So there's the pain of injuries. There's the pain of waiting for the next tournament. There's the pain of
Missing on a tournament
missing
for
on a
whatever
tournament.
reason.
Yeah. Or there is the physical pain. So I wonder if pain is a key to success, in your view, in sports or in any other field.
No pain, no gain, right? We all agree on this. The pain I just meant, it was something else. The pain, spiritual pain that can lose interest in life and can just like weaken the human being from inside, concerning the respect or the support of his family, the great wall of him. But the pain of gaining goal, it's something else. It's totally another story, different story. Because when you just build this character and build this tough mindset, he will know and accept wherever it may come at his path. And he will know exactly that failure, there is nothing called failure. There is no failure, it's feedback. There is no failure, it's life lessons. And I will go through many struggles, many difficulties into my life and through my life. But I now have my support, the support of my family, and now they building me from inside. So I have this strength, I have this mindset. I know exactly, I know quite well that I will get some pain. I will work so hard. I will have some sleepless night. I will go like, I know many challenges and many difficulties through their days until they just get to their top goal. And one thing we need to teach our children, that life is not fair. Life, it's full of difficulties, but how difficult is you as well? How are you gonna just like fight this fight to get whatever you want? You need to do a lot of effort. It's not an overnight success, and there is no something called shortcuts to success. You have to do this effort. You will face many failures, many mistakes. You will maybe lose some games, But in this ethics of sports also, it just teaches them that it's okay. Just some play some sports, or sometimes you will win, sometimes you will lose. It's okay. Just focus on your trainings, focus on your goal, focus on these things, and you will reach whatever you want.
Is it necessarily that the family that has members who play sports or parents who play sports necessarily should have champions or sports athletes, or not necessarily?
It depends. It depends on the culture of the family, well, itself. Maybe if my father and mother are sports, are very interested in sports, and they
Not
athletes.
necessarily playing, but interested in
Yes,
sports.
yes. Maybe interested in their athletes and their culture. Now they know and they're fully aware about the benefits of sports and how important it is. It's according to my child. I maybe give him some choice, but he just raised up as, and he knows exactly that, like, it regards the values and beliefs parents put in their children from the early age. And if he just raised up and he knows quite well the importance of sport and how it's gonna benefit him in the long run, and how it builds character from inside, and how he will develop many other skills, he will just be a successful man or woman in the future. He will go for it. So it's not necessary. It depends on the child himself. But the culture exists out there, and the awareness is also is built out there. So it depends on him.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. I wonder, Mrs. Rania, how much of success in sports, in your view, or maybe in other fields as well, you as a personal development expert, is attributed to mental toughness. There is talent. Talent is very important in any sport or any work you do. There is hard work. There are a lot of elements in the equation. But mental toughness, the will, the determination, the persistence, the not giving up. How much do you, how many percent do you attribute it to the importance of success in sports or in any other
So
field?
you mean here that the importance of mental toughness?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan once said that I can accept failure. Nobody fails at something, but I never accept not trying. If you just implement this rule or this quote or these powerful words on life, it will be a great thing. Everyone fails at something. It's okay. If you have just this mindset and not get very stressed about failure and this inner fear of failure, most of people are afraid of two main things: the fear of failure and the people, or the people's sarcasm, or they always seek for the approval of people. These two main fears of people. So if you just erase the fear of failure, everybody fails at something. It's okay. It's all about life lessons you again, and instead all these failures. So if you have this toughness of mindset, of powerful mindset, you will do magic. It will work wonders, because now you will be unstoppable and invincible. No one can beat you. Even if you just made some mistakes, it's okay. What are the lessons I gain from all these mistakes? Because there is always a difference, or the only difference between the beginner and the expert. The beginner and expert is the mistakes, the failure. The beginner is just like a blank page, but the expert has done many tremendous number of failures, tremendous number of mistakes, but he's learning from them, and now it becomes like his assets of lessons. Now I'm an expert in my field, because I have tried many other things, lots of things, and now I can tell you, or can give you my expertise. I can give you some piece of advice about the thing you want to in your life.
Yes. I'd like to thank you very much, Mrs. Rania, Lelah, human development expert. Thank you very much for being with us today in this edition of Nile Cruise.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Much more yet to come here in this edition of Nile Cruise.